Hey guys, so a couple of weeks ago I saw a video on Gabby Peterson's channel. I'll leave the link in the description bar below about lifestyle inflation. And funny thing is, I was talking to a friend about this. I was like, I think I have noticed a lifestyle inflation, but also haven't at the same time in my life if I compare between 2020 and 2025. And I was like, you know what, it would actually be really good to film a video about that and have a look exactly what has changed, like what's so different about this. And then I was like, maybe not. But then went on YouTube and I saw the video. I'm like, you know what, it's a sign. I should do it. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I will be sharing with you my lifestyle inflation. Oh, I spit there, excuse me. My lifestyle inflation from 2020, not from, but between 2020 and 2025. So what we're going to cover is we're going to cover my income difference and then also my spending. Yeah, I think we're going to do income and spending because I think that will be a better way to gauge what has actually changed, if I can put it that way. So I have here on my laptop, I googled inflation between 2020 and 2025, and it said between 2020 and 2025 the UK experienced a significant rise in inflation. In 2020 the annual inflation rate was around 1%, but by April 2025 it had increased to 3.5% for the consumer price index and 4.1% for the consumer price index, which the H is housing costs. That includes housing costs. And I think a lot of us felt that difference. And a lot of us felt that 3 point whatever increase, no, 4.1 increase for CPIH, which is absolutely crazy. So it's the cumulative price change over this period, so from 2020 to 2025, is estimated to be 25.45%, which is absolutely crazy. It's ridiculous, but that is what happened, and we know why. Not all the reasons why, but the major reasons, which was obviously 2020 COVID, right? And that caused a lot of supply and demand to go into disrupt and all of that good jazz. So because of that, the inflation rates were just out of this world. So I was looking at my trackers from 2020 and also the 2025 tracker, and I wanted to do a comparison when it comes to the income that I was bringing in that year, as well as the spending that I had. And I'd chosen the month of June because we're currently in July 2025, and I was like, that will probably be a better one to gauge like the spending. But looking at this, which saying, you know, the interest here based on my research today, this is all the way up to April 2025. So maybe I should look at the month of April for both 2020 and then the month of April for 2025. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at April 2020 and April 2025. So without further ado, let us begin today's video. Okay, so I don't know which side I should move. Maybe I'll move closer to my laptop, and maybe, oh, how do I want to move this? I don't know. I hope this is enough space for me to be covering what I want to project on the screen. But we're going to start off first with 2020, and we're going to do April. So my income in April 2020 was, from my main job, was £4,000 before taxes. And after taxes, this came, when I took out like my taxes, it came to about £3,000. But as you can see, I also had some blog income in April, so a little bit skewed there, but it's whatever. But yeah, so this is how much I believe. This is the standard amount this is the tax I had that was taken out by my employer. So this does not include taxes that I would have to take out for the blog, plus because I do self-assessment for that. But yeah, so once I took out the taxes, well, my employer took out the taxes in advance, that left me with £3,089.24. So with that, I had my expenses, so that was like living costs. So I had my council tax, I had my mobile, I had all of these bills that were in there that I had to pay for, and that came to about 485, so just under 500 pounds. So all of my major living costs were there. And then the next part was my travel costs, and here was more, I used to pay for my car insurance on a monthly basis. Now I pay annually every September, so that is something that's different. Seems I didn't have to fuel up because the previous month I'd topped up about 100 pounds, so I didn't have to fill up for that. MOT I was paid twice. No, my MOT for that car was in March. Now MOT for my car is August, so I'm taking my car now next month, and that wasn't anything. There wasn't anything else there, so that cost me 72 pounds. Personal cost, so that was like the gym, which was 30 pounds. I had other subscriptions like English Heritage and National Trust, that was 11 pounds. And I think outside of the miscellaneous items, as the items that you can see that are miscellaneous are like my WordPress, my Adobe, PicMonkey, Microsoft, those were business expenses. So that 85 is mostly for that. And then streaming services like Spotify, Netflix, Now TV, Audible, and all of that cost me about 50 pounds. So that was about 120 pounds that I'd spent on that. My rent, because in 2020 April, no, this was my mortgage. I bought my home, my current home that I'm living in March. Sorry, process started January, February, we're done, and we completed in March. So my first proper mortgage payment for this house was in April, and that was 759 and 33 pence. And then the months after that was just under 700 pounds. So I paid my mortgage, my first proper mortgage payment. Then I paid my legal and general life insurance, and then income protection. Then I paid my home insurance, the building and contents insurance, and then I paid, I don't know what I was paying an additional contents insurance, but later on I sat down with the bank, we discussed it, and they refunded me back the money because I already had the insurance. Apparently they have to check that I'm not paying for two insurances. I think that's what they told me at that time. But anyway, I got this money back. I didn't have to have this, but I ended up doing that. So yeah, so my home care costs, so my mortgage and my insurances, was costing me just under £1,000. And then I had debt. So in 2020 April, I still had my car note, so my car loan, and that was 282 and 99 pence every single month. I actually forgot that I used to pay for a car. Right now it feels so foreign to me because I paid off my car 2020 or 2021, so yeah, feels very foreign to me. But yeah, so for debt, that's all I had, the 282.99. So for April, the income over £3,000, monthly expenses came to just under £2,000, so I was left with just under 1,160-ish left to spend, like to live my life and do whatever, disposable income, honestly. And most of that could have gone to savings. I believe I did send £1,000 towards my saving, yeah, and £100 to my investments according to this tracker. So this tracker I bought from Patricia Bright a long time ago, so yeah, I don't know, but I will hopefully, I'm still projecting, like I've taken the screen grabs for 2020. So 2020 bringing in about £4,000 in my income. Now if I move to 2025, a lot has changed. When it comes to my income has changed, and I don't obviously show you guys exactly the amount that I get every single month, but pre-taxes, my income has just about doubled from what I was earning in 2020. But you wouldn't know that because I sacrifice a lot towards my pension and also investing in the company that I work for so that I can reduce my tax burden. But yeah, so that's kind of like how I have done it. I always say to my friends that I haven't really changed how much I bring in. I mean, then I was bringing in £3,000 a month. I don't anymore. I bring a lot more than that, but I sacrifice a lot more at work as well. So I don't know how to say this, but yeah, so there has been that difference. For the month of April, as you can see, I brought in an income of over 9,300. For the month of April, I sent towards my home expenses, I sent 2,300. If we actually look at home expenses, this includes the mortgage. My mortgage has obviously gone up crazy, so I'm paying 1,400. Well, I was paying in April 1,400. Now it's a lot more, so doubled. Yeah, it's last time it was 700 something. Now it's 1,400, so practically doubled between 2020 and 2025. That's how much my mortgage has gone up. It's crazy actually to think about that it's gonna buy that much. Like, all of my expenses used to be 1,900-ish. Now that's like almost how much I spend just on my home expenses. So this is like my mortgage, my council tax, income protection, that's about 2,300. Then subscriptions, I went from just spending £50 to 130 or 140 practically pounds in subscriptions, which is crazy. I didn't used to have like a health and lifestyle expenses, you know, things like the gym, therapy, and what have you. I'm spending about £500 to that. I didn't used to have that. Then when it comes to like groceries, I'm actually surprised that my budget is practically the same. There were months like 2020 where I spent £300, and there were months where I spent like £100, which is what I did April 2025. So it's crazy, but looking at the numbers, you guys, definitely felt lifestyle creep here. Inflation in most areas, because a lot of things have actually gone up in price, mortgage being one of them, but food costs have also gone up. I've just tried to keep a lot of it at bay. I have months like April, July. Every quarter, I must say, I do a big shop. Like, I just did a Costco shop, and you will see in my July budget that I overspent by like £200 because I did a big Costco haul just so I can get all of the things that I need. And then the upcoming months, I don't spend that much, which I spent a lot in March. April meant I didn't have to spend that much. But you guys, the difference is crazy. The difference in income, absolutely, it has gone up in my favor. The difference in spending in things like my mortgage is crazy to me, but it is also understandable because the inflation rate went up, like really, really up. But let's take a moment to pause here and appreciate the fact that my income doubled. So did my mortgage. These two seem to be going hand in hand. My pre-tax income doubled and my mortgage doubled as well. Yeah, but something that I was doing in 2020 was £100 towards my investing. I'm sending between £600 to £1,000 towards my investing now. So there is that difference. I don't know what I was hoping to achieve with this video, you guys, because initially I just was like, oh, let's just look what the income has changed. My income has doubled. And then I was like, oh, let's look at my spending. But in terms of my spending outside of my bills, which have doubled or tripled, my bills have tripled because of my mortgage. My bills have tripled, but my overall spending, like on myself, has also tripled because I'm spending a lot more now than I did in 2020. Obviously, granted, 2020 we were mostly indoors, so a lot of things that I do now I wasn't doing then. But I'm surprised, you guys. I hadn't fully looked at the numbers prior to filming this, so honestly, I don't know what I was expecting. But okay. Interesting, you guys. I have felt that a lot of things have gone up in price. I know I used to spend like £25 every single week on my food shop, and that would get me practically everything that I needed. In 2020, now £25, I barely buy 4 items and I try to be conscious of what I am buying, but I must admit there are certain things that I won't buy certain brands. I have like brands that I like. So there is that inflation, lifestyle creep, I should say, not only inflation, but so I was talking about the lifestyle creep that has happened over the last 5 years, but my Canon died. I thought I charged it. I honestly charged it yesterday, but it's died again because I've been filming a number of videos today. But anyway, that is the video, you guys. I just wanted to do an outro for this video because I will forget. And yeah, so we're just putting it on the iPhone. Hopefully the sound quality is fine, and the plane that is my laptop, I hope it's not coming through too strongly because it sounds like a plane is about to take off. But anyway, we love my Mac. But anyway, that is the video. So just comparing my lifestyle inflation between 2020 and 2025, my income has doubled, so has my mortgage. My spending has also practically tripled when it comes to like my bills, but also the things that I'm able to do now compared to then. And I mentioned before the camera cut that obviously there are certain things that I wasn't able to do in 2020, one of them being travel. I know that if I was to compare travel between 2020 and this year, there would be a huge difference, because in 2020, January through to March, until I moved into my home, I was traveling every single month. Then we were on a ban for about 6 months, and then I didn't travel until September when I went to Venice. I did spend some money, like good money there, but not compared to how much I spend now on travel. So that's one thing that has definitely gone up. Another big difference is I did have a gym membership in 2020, but that wasn't too bad compare. I mean, it's about the same if I look at it. Yeah, the price is about the same 2020 and now for my gym membership. But in 2020 I didn't have therapy, which I now have. I didn't have Pilates, which I now have, and I didn't have swimming lessons, which I now have. So like I said, outside of spending about £40 on my gym membership in 2020, in 2025 I'm spending about £500 on my health and wellness, because I also have a lifestyle coach as well. So all of these costs that I didn't have, so I can't put everything down to just inflation of the economy, but my lifestyle inflation is because there are certain things that I'm now doing that I wasn't doing then, but also the fact that I'm now buying from stores that I wasn't buying from before. I still shop in Sainsbury's, Aldi, Lidl, Tesco's and what have you, but there are times when I buy local. And if you know anything about the UK supermarkets and local markets, you know that the local shops are more expensive than the big shop. That is just how it is, and it's more convenient for me to go to my local shop. But we do have a big supermarket that I go to for Sainsbury's, but I'm lazy and I pay for that laziness. But yeah, so that is the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video real soon.